here shortly. This meeting is being live streamed. Okay. Alrighty.
All
I
right,
guess that means we're live.
we'll go.
We are live here on the Facebook. Welcome to another episode of the North American Association of Cerebral Palsy Chatline. My name again is Caleb Wells. Everybody who's on this Facebook should know who I am. But
Yes.
if you don't, I'm Caleb. That's Tanner. We're going to get started here. We just wanted to come on and do a quick little live stream podcast and kind of talk about CP month and what we've done here with the group recently. So I'm going to let Tanner start with how his month was and where we go from there.
Well, as we all know, March was CP Awareness Month, and CP Awareness Month has not always just been it's not always been a one-off. Oh, look at this! It's National Donut Day. It's always been a well-known fact that CP Awareness Month is a thing, and March is where everybody around the world knows can find out more about CP.
Yeah, and I think you hit on it there is really what this is about. Everybody's always saying, like, why do we need, an awareness day for this, an awareness day for that? Like, why do we need CP Awareness Month?
Yep.
And it's not to, like, downplay anything, or it's not to be like, this is the only day we're allowed to talk about this. For me, I think it's really important to have these things so it's easier to facilitate a conversation. That's
exactly
what it comes down to, is the education part of it is the important piece of this. At the end of the day, we need to continue with that education piece, and having CP Awareness Month really helps bring that to the forefront.
And it also educates more and more people, regardless of if they know what CP is or not. So yeah.
Yes, and that's there. The fact that CP is the most diagnosed physical disability on the planet, and it doesn't get the same kind of run as some of the other disabilities, and there's not necessarily that much known about it, that much discovered about it in adulthood. We tend to find that there's a lot of pediatric education, a lot of pediatric
information.
Yeah, information and studies that happen with that. And understanding that we as individuals with cerebral palsy live into our mid to upper 60s. That's almost a full life. It doesn't affect our lifespan as much as originally thought.
Yeah.
And eventually there's going to have to be more research done about how it affects us in adulthood. And I think as we continue out through this year and going into next year's CP Awareness Month, we need to continue pushing that narrative, because that's the one that'll become important. Because yes, there are, there's kids born with cerebral palsy every day. One in every
Every single day.
323 live births, a child is born with cerebral palsy.
There's
Those
an
kids
interesting
just
fact for you.
those kids just don't die at 18.
Yep.
We're all around. So
there needs to be more information for adults. And so
correct.
yeah, I believe in the same way that you do that there will eventually be more information that is readily available for adults to look into, because not everybody knows what's gonna happen to them, and they're like, oh, I need to know this. Well, as an adult, it's a game of where can I find this information, because it's not all out there.
Yeah, we played this game of like hide and go seek. I equate it to a crossword puzzle. Well, more of a word search than a crossword puzzle. But because the information is there.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to go find it.
Yep.
There is an easier
And
way to create that database,
yeah,
for lack of a better term.
it's like that information is buried, and it doesn't need to be buried.
So I like to think of it this way as well. In sociology, we talk about resource pools, where you pull a lot of your information out of a resource pool. Think of it kind of like an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And that's the depth of the information that you can get. The depth of the information that we get here on cerebral palsy is about equivalent to a mall fountain.
Yeah, it's
So the information is there, but there's so much stuff at the top that you have to weed through all this shallow pediatric information, which is great. I'm not dogging on the pediatric information.
no,
I
not at
think
all.
I think at the end of the day, though, we have to understand that once you hit 18 or 21, you're just not going to stop living.
Yeah, your life does not end at that age. No.
And that's also the importance of this group, is why the group is here. We had those things where, yeah, we could get services for when we were 18, and then from when we were like 18 to 21. But then you're just kind of dropped. You're kind of dropped. My dad used to always call it the cuteness factor. Once you kind of run out of that cuteness and you can't really sell the poor little crippled kid routine anymore, you're kind of aged out.
Very, very true.
But
Very true.
I mean, maybe that's a bad metaphor, bad analogy, but
No, but you get it, right? Because it's like you're aged out. You don't end at that point. You still
no,
exist as a
you
person,
still have 45 to 50 years of your life you have to live,
or more, depending on the
or
yeah,
if you're a lucky bastard, you get more, right? So we have to understand, and I think it comes back to parenting too. You know how I am with my arguments with parenting is parenting can either set you up or it can knock you back.
Yep, exactly.
And when we have those pediatric resources, which are great, we don't need to be completely self-reliant on those. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have to use them as a tool in our toolbox. And if we do eventually have parents out there that are going to listen to this and think, well, I want my kid with cerebral palsy to do X in life, we have to give them the proper tools.
Yes. I think it as a treasure chest, because like you have to pull out that treasure and say, okay, this is what I can do. This is what treasure I found today.
We can play that game of adaptability, right?
Yep.
And I've written about, and you've heard me talk ad nauseum about the you've heard me talk ad nauseum about the small victories, winning the small stuff.
Yep.
You're not gonna hit home runs every single day of the year,
No.
but sometimes it's just nice to be able to get out of bed and get in your wheelchair and function for a half hour,
And
right?
do what you want for.
And I know that you, Tanner, we've been playing that game for a little bit now with small victories. And it's a small victory that you're here with me right now. So
Yes.
I appreciate that. And if anybody's actually sitting here watching this, I appreciate you as well.
Yes, we appreciate all. We appreciate
Yeah.
all. So,
Drop questions in our little comment box and we can address those as well. Tanner, you have a big weekend coming up. A lot of family stuff going on
yes, I do.
back in your neck of the woods.
I have about 10 people in my house right now over the next few days.
So that's something that we should talk about. I know we talked about that in group, but what is it like for you when you're in those situations, those family situations with all those people? I grew up in a big family, so it never really bothered me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, but if I'm in a setting where I don't know anybody, I'm like, okay, what do I do here? Because often it's like sometimes if I'm in a weird location, people just see the chair and they're like, oh, I can't talk to you. You can't talk. Well, yeah, I'm a person too, and yeah, but having people in the house doesn't bother me. If you know me at all, I like to talk.
Well, yes. And that's why we need to start selling t-shirts that say functional, not vegetable.
Yeah.
But we need to come up with a podcast merch store, along with our regular napkin merch, which, by the way, order forms will close on Tuesday, the 11th of April. So if you're watching this now,
if you're watching it,
if you're watching live, you can click on, I'll drop the link now since we're sitting here thinking about it. And order some t-shirts that help fund not only this podcast, but the association as a whole.
look at you, you're being functional, Caleb.
I am. I couldn't get through that practice. I couldn't get through that practice ad read, but we're certainly moving forward in life. Moving up in the world, as it were.
Hey, we finally got through that.
We did get
through.
through it. We did get through it. And at the end of the day, we will continue to get through everything.
Get through life, and life will be great.
Correct. We really do appreciate everybody that comes and hangs out with us. And
whether you're watching this live or in the future, we appreciate every one of you who joins our meetings, our podcasts, our social media page on Facebook, all of it.
yeah, we appreciate all of you, right?
Yeah.
And now we lost both of our viewers because we were in a lull there, but we can.
Oh man! Oh well.
But it's fine. This is fun doing this live. We haven't done this before, so we're learning about things. But back to the original conversation about parenting and that parenting toolbox, for lack of a better terminology, is we really got to push forward with it. And it's just like with any kid, we want to make people try something once.
And I will say that if you're a parent with a kid with CP, just hang in there. It does get easier, even though it seems like it doesn't.
I mean, I hate using the term that it gets easier, right?
Yeah, but
I get where you're coming from, and I get what you're trying to say, which is it gets a little bit more understanding. You kind of get into a routine, right? It, again, just like with any type of parenting, you get into a routine, into a movement. And so at the end of the day, who's to say that we're not just normal kids? We'll never technically be typical, but we will definitely be functional.
yes, and that's the point of this today. Is we're still functioning adults, and so,
and not to pivot too far off topic here, but since we're on a Facebook Live and on the YouTube Live, we should probably talk about it here instead of putting it in one of our sponsored episodes, because we haven't really found a place to put this conversation. But how do you feel about the words people use to describe disability?
I feel like sometimes they need to change the way they describe it, because sometimes people just don't understand.
What are the words that bother you? Because I feel like we're going to have a little bit of a disagreement here.
You go first.
No, you go first. I want to hear your view first, and then I'll kind of riff off of that.
It's so great to see you out today. That phrase, because it's still like, yeah, everybody goes out in public. It's like they can see a chair and be like, "Oh, you got out of the house today?" Yep, I'm out of the house. I get out of the house every day.
I mean, that kind of harkens back to the whole inspiration porn idealization, where they want to use the disabled population as some form of how do I put this delicately without sounding disgusting? Altruistic self-gratification journey.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I really danced around that comment a couple of times, right? But where we go is to understand how we're all feeling. And that did not make any sense when it came out of my mouth. But I really struggle with the term person with a disability. And here's why. Person first language to me has always felt like, and if I can put it into the words that I wrote on my blog, because I had this written down because I knew that this was going to be a topic that we were going to bring up eventually. And I wanted to bring it up today. So I'm glad you're playing along here. And if you don't read my blog, that's fine. But when we use the term, and it's not even person with a disability, like that's fine. That person first language, that's okay by me.
That's
The thing that really bothers me is the term differently able.
yes, that one.
It I'm a symbolic interactionist by theory and trade and sociology, right? So the term differently able to me does not seem to carry any weight. It feels like a politically correct cop out. And I know that if anybody actually sits back and watches this, they're going to hate me for saying this. But the term differently able could describe anybody on the planet.
A lot of people, yeah.
No, not just a lot of people. It can describe every single person on the planet.
Yep.
Everyone has different abilities. So what you're saying is by using that term in that foothold in that vernacular, you're saying that you're also disabled.
Yeah.
Which is not right. It puts a bad taste in my mouth. Personally, it's one of those things that has always bothered me. I'm just a disabled person. I'm not differently able.
Yeah, no.
I'm
No.
adaptable. You can use the term adaptable. I'm fine with that. But just call me what I am. I am disabled.
Not, yeah. Not differently.
Because, my neighbor over here to the left, my neighbor over here to the right are also both differently able. So
Mm-hmm. You make a good point there.
it carries no weight, and it just cheapens the whole conversation, which is ridiculous. And I can't believe that I have to explain this to adults.
Exactly.
And it also comes back to wanting to feed this altruistic need of an inherently able-bodied society in which we don't want kids that are disabled to be excluded.
Exactly.
I hate to say it, but there are winners and losers in this world. And I would rather teach acceptance and tolerance to my children than cheapening a disabled person's experience by shoehorning them into an inherently able-bodied society. I'd rather you come to this level than me bring my kid down here.
Exactly.
So if we can use this education, use this platform to sit and say, yes, the kid is different. Yes, the kid can function. We're going to be able to complete the same task differently. Maybe not in the way you want it to be done, but we will be able to do that.
But it can be done. Yes.
But it can be done. I'd rather do that than create this artificial holding community or this artificial environment where they feel welcome,
I would.
where it shouldn't feel like an exception to the rule. We should just have ramps. Like, that's the easiest one. Have a ramp that goes up to the playground. Like, is it really that hard? It's those things. Those things go a much further way to making us, as disabled people, feel included and welcome.
Yes.
Than bringing everybody else to the outside.
And not just included, but involved in the same activities or in the same room.
It doesn't even have to be the same activity. We just want to stop being excluded from rooms in which decisions and things are happening.
Yes.
And that's what it boils down to.
Yes.
So I'd rather have conversations about education, about why I'm different, and this is how I'm different, and this is what I can do, instead of saying, oh, I'm just like everybody else. Like, it creates a culture of low expectation and a culture of pity.
Yes. And I don't know about you, Caleb, but I don't want pity in my life. I don't need
it's
to feel sorry for me.
It's a waste of breath. And I know I was talking to a member the other day about how I was at a bar once and these ladies prayed over me to heal me and help me walk again.
Oh, yes.
And like, that's not what I want either. Like, I understand that there's a power in prayer, but I always circle back to 1 Corinthians 12:18, which is God placed every bone in the body the way that he wanted them to be.
Yes.
And so it never really bothered me that way. I mean, again, it goes back to people wanting to be altruistic and make them feel better about themselves. It's more of an able-bodied issue than necessarily a disabled person's issue. And they go out of their way to try to help us without hearing our voice.
Yes. And we have a voice too. And so we want to use it. So
I went on like a 9.5-minute monologue and I totally apologize. I'm glad that people are sticking around and hanging out with us today. Again, there's a comment box there on the right side if you want to drop in your comment where you're watching from, where you're listening from. However you're making us part of your day, we appreciate it.
yes.
And so, Tanner,
yes.
we have some exciting news with the podcast that we can't wait to share with everybody. And the first is what, bud? What are we going to continue to do?
record more episodes.
Yes, we're going to continue to record episodes. So if you like hanging out with us, if you like the conversations we're having, this got way deeper than we intended it to be. We just,
But that's okay.
that's okay. Like, that's what the show is supposed to be.
Mhm.
And so we really appreciate people coming out and listening.
Yeah.
I know my aunt listens to the show. I thought she was the only one who listens. Aunt Carrie, if that's you that's on the Facebook right now, probably not. She'll probably get her Google alert tomorrow when I upload this onto our YouTube channel.
No, probably.
But
But
yeah, we really
but
appreciate.
I think that's a good stopping point.
Yeah,
Again, we appreciate each and every one of our watchers, listeners, viewers, subscribers, all that.
all 11 of you that subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Again, if you aren't already subscribed, please consider subscribing and smash that like button and
Ring that notification bell.
ring that notification bell, and we will see you in the next episode.
You have my consent, like Brandon Davies, to ring the notification bell. So,
Yeah.
oh, nobody gets that joke, but I get the joke and it makes me laugh. So we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.